Hello, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for clicking on my video. First and foremost, let me tell you that nothing I say here is financial advice. But as you can tell from the title of the video, we're going to talk about a company called Semler Scientific today. Semler Scientific is a healthcare device company, right? They make a device that essentially affects the cholesterol inside of your arteries, right? They make this is their product right here. But that's not really why we're interested in Semler Scientific, okay? I'm guessing if you clicked on a video talking about Semler, then you are interested in a company called MicroStrategy, right? And a lot of the comparisons that I make in this video are going to be comparisons to MicroStrategy because they have a lot of things in common, and I hope that I'm going to be able to talk to you guys about those today. Like I said, everything I say here is my opinion. You definitely shouldn't take it as financial advice, okay? But Semler Scientific released their earnings today for quarter 3. And I've highlighted some stuff here that I want to talk about. The first one being these couple lines here. It says, in addition, Semler Scientific announced the purchase of an additional 47 Bitcoins for an aggregate amount of $3 million from operating cash flow since August 26, 2024. Semler Scientific now holds 1,058 Bitcoins for a total purchase amount of $71 million as of November 4th, 2024. Now, why is this important? This is important because if you guys know the MicroStrategy stock run by Michael Saylor, it's essentially an old tech company, I guess a software company that has begun to acquire Bitcoin, okay, and they call themselves Bitcoin Treasury Company. If you look at their stock price, they recently had a 10-to-1 split, but if we look at this, we can see some pretty impressive growth, right? It spent a lot of time between $10 and $20. And then Michael Saylor comes on the scene and he announces that they're going to start accumulating Bitcoin. And what do we see? We see their stock price run up almost 14,000%. I'm sorry, 1,400%, right? Year to date, it's up 224%. I mean, look at this. You could have bought MicroStrategy this year earlier, January 24th, 2024 for $45. I remember seeing it hit. Yeah, 258. It's incredible, right? But the idea is based off the idea that Bitcoin is a better alternative to fiat currency, and that it'll be worth more in the future than it is today, right? So if there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and I'm not going to talk to you guys like you're idiots. You guys know sort of the foundational beliefs of Bitcoin, and if you don't, super simple to look into. But there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, right? Once everybody owns all the Bitcoin, it's going to be a game of supply and demand, and I believe that, if you look historically, again, at the growth of Bitcoin, right? I don't have to tell you guys, this is one of the highest, the quickest, the fastest growing assets ever. In fact, it may be the best asset, right? That's what a Bitcoin maxi would have you believe. MicroStrategy has a simple strategy, no pun intended, of taking on debt and using it to acquire Bitcoin. Semler Scientific is doing the same thing. So if you follow my train of thinking, potentially, if Semler Scientific continues doing the same thing that they currently are, which is acquiring debt, using the income from their company to pay sort of the monthly payments on the debt, and acquiring Bitcoin, the Bitcoin becomes more valuable. Therefore, the assets they have grow, right? Now, as you can see here, healthcare business with okay, so strong performance from our healthcare business with income from operations of $5.1 million in the third quarter. That means they made $5.1 million from the actual business they run, and they'll use that to service the debt. Again, CEO Doug Murphy-Chutorian says, we remain laser focused on acquiring and holding Bitcoin while supporting innovation and growth in our healthcare business. So they're going to do both, right? They're going to hold Bitcoin, they're going to buy Bitcoin and hold it, while also continuing to grow their business. It says, we're capitalizing on the opportunity to maximize stakeholder value by accumulating Bitcoin. We plan to continue to purchase Bitcoin with cash from operations and with cash proceeds from our sales under our At the Money program, which basically means that they're selling shares of their company for money to buy Bitcoin. In addition, we are exploring additional financing opportunities that will enable us to acquire even more Bitcoin. Okay, that's the basis of Semler Scientific, right? They're going to do the same thing that MicroStrategy has done. And if you guys have noticed, Microsoft is recently propositioned by a shareholder to buy Bitcoin as well. This is important because it's my opinion that more companies, more publicly traded companies, bigger companies are eventually going to buy Bitcoin, right? Tesla owns like 50,000 Bitcoin. But imagine Microsoft buying Bitcoin. Imagine Microsoft holding, let's say, 1% of their treasury, which would be like $4.8 billion in Bitcoin. That would be huge for Bitcoin. And then these other companies that already hold it, right? These other companies that were already willing to take that chance are going to grow. I mean, their Bitcoin is going to become more valuable as well, right? It's super important to think about this in the terms of let me rephrase, right? It's my personal belief that every Bitcoin will one day be bought. Okay? There's not going to be Bitcoin out there floating around that's not owned. And if you look at it that way, it kind of makes sense that this is an asset that is going to continue to go up. You know, you've got Larry Fink of BlackRock talking about how it could be bigger than the housing market one day. I mean, it's huge. And these companies have a responsibility to act as a fiduciary for the shareholders, right? Which means that they're obligated to make the best financial decisions for the shareholders. They're obligated to try to maximize shareholder returns, stock growth, etc. And I think if you do that, you have to at least consider the fact that Bitcoin will be more valuable in the future than it is today. I think it's important. Well, that's what Semler is doing. They're doing it very early. And as you can see, their stock price is only $31, right? Today, they reported at 401. The stock price immediately jumped up $1. I guess 99 cents. That's a 3.3% gain. If this stock were to even touch what Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are doing, if they have a fraction of the same returns and the same growth that MicroStrategy is doing, this is a chance to get in on this very early. And that is what I am doing. I don't suggest that anyone else do this. This is me. I plan to hold I plan to acquire and hold a very moderate position in this company. And I think the real growth starts when they get access to the options market. I think that once Semler Scientific, once there are options traded on this company, the price is really going to become very volatile, just like MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy in their earnings call talked about how MSTR options are more popular than Mag 7 options. People are drawn to the volatility that it offers because the potential is there for huge gains, right? I just kind of look at this company and I wonder, is there any way they sort of, the stock price sort of performs like MicroStrategy did in the early days, right? It's going to be very interesting, I think, to watch. But like I said, we need options. We need them to aggressively acquire Bitcoin, because if you know anything about the 4-year bull cycle, 2025 is going to be a huge year for Bitcoin and Bitcoin ancillaries, mining stocks, and companies that hold Bitcoin. And then, Donald Trump has made several statements about not taxing cryptocurrency, etc. But there are a lot of things lining up for Bitcoin to be higher than it is today. And then, I guess just finally, I'm thinking about catalysts for Semler Scientific, and I'm going to argue that the MicroStrategy earnings call is a catalyst for Semler Scientific. If you guys didn't watch the MicroStrategy earnings call, Michael Saylor was very clear about essentially buying $42 billion worth of Bitcoin over the next several years. Again, we talk about that aggressive and consistent Bitcoin acquisition, and they're going to buy $42 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? And I think it's a case of a rising tide will raise all ships, right? The more Bitcoin bought by these companies, the higher the price, and it pumps everybody's bags. It's good for everybody, basically, right? So, I don't know. It's just something, I guess, it's just something to look for. If you agree with me, if you don't, let me know in the comments below. If you like anything I said, give me a subscription. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I have 27 subscribers now, which is wild to me. So shout out to you guys. And if you disagree with me, let me know below. I'm more than willing to engage in conversation with you guys. I'm just throwing an idea out there about a company that is adopting the MicroStrategy strategy for aggressive Bitcoin acquisition. And I love that. Thank you guys. And just real quick, I just wanted to be very clear about my position in Semler Scientific. As you can see, I own 2 shares at an average cost basis of $25.07. I bought, within the last 90 days, obviously still holding today. And like I said, I want to be very clear. I'm going to continue to buy this stock. I don't own a huge position now, but I am going to acquire more. I bought back before Bitcoin hit 70, 71, 72,000, which, I believe is the reason for the increase in the price, obviously. But I'm going to continue to buy this stock. Even into the future. I'm going to hold, a moderate amount of shares. And then once options become available, I will hold those leaps as well. But I just wanted to be clear about my position. I don't own a huge position. I'm simply voicing, I'm trying to get thoughts out of my head about this particular stock. And this is, I think, is where it begins. So this is my thinking. My plan is to continue to buy shares and then hold them through, probably 2025 and, sell at the end of 2025 into the bear market of 2026. But that's my position.